Hello and welcome to Theatre Reviews with Paul Seven. I'm here at Soho Place to see Medea. Medea began as an ancient Greek myth and was immortalised in a play by Euripides. Now in this review I'll be talking about how it ends, and if you don't know the story and want to have the extra tension of wondering whether or not she will commit the terrible act of violence that is threatened from the beginning, you may want to switch off. Although if you do, you'll miss me talking about a stunning theatre production featuring Sophie Okonedo and Ben Daniels, giving two of the most powerful performances I've seen. So, the thing about Medea is, she kills her children. It's an act of vengeance against her husband, who's left her for a richer, more influential and younger woman. Stories of parents murdering their children make headlines to this day, and no doubt such an act was just as shocking to the ancient Greeks. But what Euripides does in his play, and I think murdering her children was an addition to the original myth, what he does, while not in any way whitewashing the monstrosity of the act, is to lay out everything that led to it. Unlike the other ancient Greek classic currently gracing the London stage, namely Phaedra at the National, which I saw and loved last week, this production makes no attempt to modernise the story. Yes, the characters wear modern dress, but it's fairly plain. And the set, designed by Vicki Mortimer, is almost bare. Such details as there are telling, though. A low wall concealing a staircase to a basement, where the final horrors take place, is made of stone. A word that's used a lot in the play to describe Medea. High above hangs a giant golden headband or crown which parallels the circular stage and predicts the headband that is weaponised later in the play. Even a table and chairs, which may normally denote the possibility of sitting and talking things through, are removed before a word is spoken. And this is all happening in the round at the wonderful new theatre at Soho Place. So this is like an ancient Greek amphitheatre where the audience was all around, drawn into the play and treated as witnesses and judges. Even more so here because no one is more than a few rows from the actors. In fact, the chorus of three women sit among the audience, making us all seem like we're the women of Corinth trying in vain to understand and intervene. Even the adaptation is a classic, the 1947 version by American poet Robinson Jeffers, which has both the natural flow of modern English combined with an accentuated use of metaphor like stone, bone and dog, which run like motifs through the play. So, the vengeance of a victim is the theme. Medea has been wronged. She played a major part in the success of her husband Jason of Argonaut and Golden Fleece fame, only for him to betray her by leaving her for the daughter of Creon, the king of Corinth. And the play is a series of interviews, really, between Medea and the powerful men in her life. Creon, Aegeus, king of Athens, and of course Jason. From the very beginning of Robinson Jeffers' adaptation, Medea is full-on angry and prepared to be as evil as required in response to the perceived evil of Jason and of the male-controlled society that has demeaned her. And what this means is that Sophie Okonedo can let rip with her anger and her anguish from the start. I guarantee you will rarely have seen a performance like that of Sophie Okonedo. Mad with anger, yet able to out-argue and deceive these men using smiles and guile. She cries proper snotty tears. She smiles like a tiger, her eyes turn to stone, all in a minute. And although you know what's going to happen, the tension is palpable because even when given an out, the men patronise her, and even though they know she's to be feared, underestimate her. Now, as modern people, we're more into the idea of atonement and forgiveness, but I think we understand the visceral need for revenge, and while we may not see it as noble in the way the Greeks did, this play helps us comprehend why Medea feels she has no alternative but to carry out her gruesome vengeance, and we feel her heart breaking at the thought of it. In an astonishing piece of theatre, director Dominic Cooke has one actor, Ben Daniels, play all the male parts, thus emphasising that it is men generically who rule society. Nevertheless, Mr. Daniels, in a performance as powerful as Miss Okonedo's, gives each of them a distinct personality. The selfish Jason, the weak King Creon, the shallow King Aegeus. And he constantly walks round this edge of the stage, often in slow motion, showing she is encircled and trapped by men who disrespect her and take all chance of justice away from her. The panic of the women around Medea, especially Marion Bailey as the nurse, piles on the stress. And this is a most tense and ultimately devastating 90 minutes. You don't actually see any of the deaths, but I can tell you the hairs on my neck stood up when Medea went down the stairs to kill her children. But this is where it goes wrong as a play. It may or may not have worked for the ancient Greeks, but for a modern sensibility, murdering your children crosses a line, even with all of Euripides' explanation and Ben Daniels' provocation and Sophie Okonedo's persuasion. It's too much like a terrorist justifying killing innocent people. Even so, I give this production of Medea at Soho Place 4 stars. I hope you enjoyed this review, or at least found it useful, and if you did, please comment, like, and best of all, subscribe to my channel so that you'll know about my future reviews. And if you want to read my reviews, go to Theatre.Reviews, and you can follow me on Mastodon, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you for watching.